It's the beginning of a new year and we want to make sure that you are completely covered. So that is why I'm going to tell you the exact steps that you need to take in order to lose weight this 2025. Now, I've seen all sorts of TikToks and YouTubes and people talking about the different diets that they've started. And one in particular that I have seen most recently is a lot of people doing the carnivore and animal-based diet. And to be honest with you, I have nothing against that. I actually think that that's a really good diet to follow for health purposes. It is really just going back to what we were originally supposed to be eating in the first place before all this processed food came into play, causing inflammation in us. A lot of people are seeing really good results just from eating in that animal-based way, and it's because you're removing a lot of processed foods, which if you have been eating that way for a really long time, then it can wreak havoc on you. It can wreak havoc on your microbiome, on your gut. These are some serious things that it can and does have an impact on. And so when it comes to following these diets, a lot of people are not really understanding that it's not something that is sustainable. Gate the benefits that you would be getting from it. Like, you could still lose inflammation. You are still eating very highly nutritious food and cutting out a lot of that, the processed stuff, which could lead your body to going into some detox symptoms. But overall, I do think that there are some benefits to doing it, even if you do it just for a little bit of time. When it comes to what style you should be trying to adopt while you're going through a diet, I truly believe in moderation. And I think that moderation is key to everything. And if you are somebody who likes to enjoy cookies, cake, and alcohol from time to time, then that's something that you need to figure out how to incorporate it into your lifestyle. Now, I know people say that all the time, moderation is key, blah, 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 and people don't know how to do it. And the reason why no one can just straight up tell you how to do it is because it looks different for everybody. It depends on what your, I don't want to call them vices, or what your non-negotiables are, the things that you need to have. And it's okay to be realistic about it and say, these are the things that I need to have in order for me to feel okay. And what happens when you restrict yourself from these things is you will create a really bad relationship with food, for one. And two, you've now created temptation around food that you didn't have before. Or maybe you did, and you've always been out of control with this type of food or eating, whatever it is. This is where finding that moderation and being able to eat these things in small amounts, or, desensitizing yourself to it, could be really beneficial. Now, the thing that the carnivore diet and the animal-based diet and all that stuff don't really address is how to get back into eating in a way where you can start incorporating these things into your life. And this is not just for these specific diets. This is any diet. This could even just be a straight up calorie deficit. If you can't figure out a way to have these things in your life without you going overboard, or without you throwing in the towel every single time that you slip up or fall off track or whatever it is, you're going to stay stuck in this cycle. So come January 2026, come January 2027, 28, 29, 30, whatever, you're going to do the same thing, gaining and losing the same 10 pounds over and over and over again. And I get it. It is so frustrating. It is so frustrating. I hear you. But that is where it is up to you. It is your responsibility, and it's not someone else. You can't outsource this. You can try going to therapy, and then, even then, you're still the one that's required to do the work. A therapist can only tell you so much and only help you get to the root of things, but you are the one that has to execute. You are responsible for your own body, and you're responsible for the things that you put into it and all of the things that you do to it. When I say try to find balance, try to find moderation, this is the root cause of what is keeping you from losing the weight once and for all. And of course, there are tips. There are things like that I'm sure that you've heard so many times from so many different nutrition coaches, you probably know this stuff like down to your core too. Like eating high volume food, doing 80-20, so eating 80% clean and 20% dirty. But if you're not actually implementing these things and figuring out how to do it, it doesn't matter. Any strategy that I tell you is going to still make you feel like you are completely out of control once you put yourself into the situation. And I know that I have had a lot of clients who are like, no, but I've just been so good. So like, I don't want to have anything. I know that you said that I can, but I don't want to have anything because I don't want to fall off track. This is the exact problem. This is the exact problem. When you don't allow yourself to have something because you're stressed about falling off track, this is what's perpetuating you into staying stuck in this cycle. So, these that you can try, like eating high volume. And so for the majority of your day, some people like to do macro fasting, where they'll just have really high protein just in the beginning of the day, which is kind of like a carnivore, animal-based type of way of eating. And then they save the rest of their macros, like their carbs and their fats, for the end of the day. And so if you are somebody who likes to snack at night or, while you're watching TV, this is going to help you in that way, where you're saving it for nighttime. Now, don't worry about all of those little things like, oh, I have to stop eating by 7 p.m. or it's not good to have carbs before bed. Like, if this is going to help you stay on track with your calorie deficit, then it's worth giving a shot to. Another thing that people can try is doing something called intermittent fasting, where you're not eating for a period of the day. So you have eating windows. That can help. But this isn't really a long-term solution because you still haven't figured out how to build this relationship with food. So that's another option, but like I said, it's not a long-term solution. Another thing you can try is that 80-20 rule, where you look at your calories. So you have, say, 2,000 calories that you have to play with in order for you to maintain being in a calorie deficit and being able to enjoy food at the same time. So it's not a severe calorie deficit, but you're still in one. If you take 80% of that, you're going to have 1,600 calories, and then you have 400 calories that you can play with. What I like to suggest doing to some of my clients is to take the thing that you can't get out of your mind. Like if you are a habitual wine drinker, drink a glass of wine every single night and make that your 400 calories or whatever. Or if you like cookies, do that every single day. Eventually, you're going to find that there are days where you don't care at all to have that. You don't care to have that cookie or drink that glass of wine. And then you start finding other things to put into that. And this isn't a suggestion. This is really like, actually try it. Really try this strategy out, because you might find that that's going to help you a whole lot more than just totally avoiding these things altogether. The other thing that you can do is when you know that you have a special event that's coming up or a restaurant that you're supposed to be going to, maybe you have a date night or you're going out with girlfriends for a girls' night. This is the perfect time to plan ahead and to take all of these strategies that I'm telling you right now and implement them so that you can live a life that is sustainable throughout your fat loss phase. So let's look at an example of going to a restaurant. I'm not telling you that you have to pick like the lowest calorie meal or that you need to eat the healthiest version. Like you don't have to order the tilapia with broccoli. Like you can order whatever it is that you want, but keep in mind the moderation thing, right? So you don't want to be ordering like this every single day. You can also try to limit your outings of going out maybe once or twice a week, at most twice, but limiting to just one meal. This doesn't include an appetizer and dessert and all of those things. This is where it really does come to you as being responsible. Remember, you have agency over your body. You are responsible for your choices. You don't need to have the appetizer, the dessert, the drink, all of those things. You can still go out and enjoy yourself without having to have all of these different things and still have a really good time. And this is where you have to make some sacrifices within yourself. You might have to say, okay, like I'm not going to be able to do this on this day, or I'm not going to be able to have this with like as much as I want it. These are sacrifices that you have to make because it's not about the all or nothing. And that includes being able to have everything, like when you go to a sushi restaurant, or being able to go and have a little bit because you got your fix. Like sometimes it is just about getting your fix in and not about having everything under the sun, because we have so much that is in abundance that you don't have to consume it all. Like that is not what this is about. Another thing that you can try doing, which I've talked about in so many videos, is calorie cycling. If you know that you have certain events that are coming up, and I know that this is exactly how my last point started off with, you can shift your calories around so that you have higher calorie days and lower calorie days throughout the week to accommodate these events. Work this into your life because your diet strategy needs to be sustainable for the long run. And this is something that you can take with you throughout life after you're done dieting, or once you've reached your goal, or as you're cycling through different phases, like you're going through a reverse diet, or maybe you're just taking time at maintenance. Sometimes, even when you're at maintenance, it doesn't mean you have to eat the exact same amount every day. You can still be at maintenance, and as long as your weekly average throughout the entire week is what your maintenance is, you should not see very many changes on the scale throughout the week. So think about that and plan accordingly. If you know that you have things coming up and you want 2 days where you're going to be eating over and above like what you would normally have, or you need to have that flexibility because you know it's the one time that your girlfriend is here from out of town and you're planning on having a really good night, you're going to go to, I don't even know, like the coolest bar in town. Like these are times when you're going to want to be strategic about it so that you can still stay on track, be in a calorie deficit, see your progress, and be able to reach your goal. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this really comes down to, I hate to say it, but how bad you want it, right? If you're willing to make sacrifices for your goals, it's never going to be easy going through a fat loss journey or any type of goal that you're trying to reach. There's always some discomfort. You have to push past it. And remember what your why is. Remember why you're doing what you're doing. And if it's important to you, then you will stay on track. Don't look to other people, your coach, your friends, your family. They can all support you and do everything that they possibly can. But at the end of the day, this really falls into your hands, and it's your responsibility to take ownership of what you're trying to do and stay on track. Like I said, everyone can give you the most support in the world, but if you're not willing to take action the way that you know that you should, think about the things that you're doing. Think about the actions that you're taking. Are these in a vote for the type of person that your future self, the one who's already reached their goal, would take? If not, then maybe you need to reassess and reevaluate. Maybe the goal might be too steep, but this isn't a time where you just need to throw in the towel because things got hard. Things in life are always hard. They're always going to be uncomfortable. Maybe not through every moment, but there will be moments when we have that. And that's when you have to push through, persevere, and really just remember why you're doing what you're doing. So if you like this video, then go ahead and check out the video here. I talk more about calorie cycling so that you can try and fit in whatever into your weekend or your week so that you can live guilt-free and lose weight at the same time.